What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into TTP Sports. And the Phillies, they do avoid the sweep. They find a way. Thank God. Thank God, because I would have had a different, complete outlook, even though overall the full emotion is still pretty frustrated, still pretty annoyed about what happened. And I do still have a lot of problems, especially going into today's ball game. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But you do find a way to beat the Braves. Good old 7th-inning rally, and you win 5-4. A little bit of a scare at the end, especially with Sir Anthony Dominguez, and I'll also get into my fears with him in a little bit here. But it does just feel fine to get a win. It feels better to get a win, especially avoiding the sweep, because getting swept by your division rival, especially the division rival that you are trying to fight for this division with, it would have been disastrous in my honest opinion. Not disastrous for the entire season outlook, just disastrous for these first 3 games to start the year. You got so much excitement coming into the year. You're playing your first series against your division rival, especially the division rival that you have eliminated in the postseason in the past 2 seasons. And you know what the outcome, you know what the outlook's going to be. Atlanta's going to come in with fire. They're going to come in wanting revenge, especially, to start off hot. Like, I would like to see my team do that too, and they get absolutely curb stomped in the first 2 games. Zack Wheeler was amazing. You go up 2-0, and then your bullpen just completely implodes. Yesterday's ball game, Nola was goddamn dreadful when your offense tried to give him a lead, and he just proceeded to continue to suck the entire game, and the Braves ran away with that entire thing. And for today's game, Ranger Suarez, I thought he settled down after, once again, another first-inning 2-run shot by Ozzie Albies. So, yeah, that happened. But then he eventually settled down. He did allow a 3rd run on I believe, to Adam Duvall on like a 3-2 count with 2 outs. But overall, I thought Ranger was pretty steady. He kept you involved. And, on the other side for Chris Sale, he eventually hit a wall. I do think the Phillies let him off the hook a couple of times. And that also comes down to the lineup that was put on the mound, put on the bump for today. And I don't agree with the philosophy here from Rob Thompson. I just don't understand. Bryce, Harper, Bryson, Stott, and Brandon Marsh, all not in the lineup today. None of those guys saw the lineup. Yeah, Bryson, Stott, Brandon Marsh, they eventually got into the game. Stott pinch hit for Sosa. Marsh came in pinch hitting for Pache eventually. It's just still the matter of the fact that why do we keep doing this with these guys? Why do we keep putting Stott on the bench when a lefty comes out? Why do we keep putting Marsh on the bench when a lefty comes out? How do we expect Marsh to improve against lefties if he's not even given a chance? This can't be like this whole situation where you're scared of Chris Sale, or Chris Sale is very tough against left-handed hitters. It just can't be that. Same thing with Bryce Harper. Rob Thompson gave the statement today before the game that this was a scheduled off day for Bryce Harper. Basically, because he didn't play that much at the back end of spring training because of the back stiffness and all that stuff. I don't buy that for a second. I firmly think it does have to do either with not wanting to bat Bryce against Chris Sale, or not even, just taking really precaution because they were scared of what happened yesterday when Bryce Harper did that stupid play where he completely just flew over the dugout trying to catch a foul ball. Seriously, in Game 2 of the year, you can't be doing that, Bryce. You got to be smarter than that. I love that you go out there and give 150% every single game. I love the effort that you do bring, but you can't be stupid. You just can't be stupid. I appreciate effort. I appreciate, what you do on the field every day. I don't appreciate being stupid. I don't appreciate being stupid because that's what gets you sidelined for a while. And hopefully you did avoid some, injury there. I know Bryce keeps saying he's fine. Rob says that Bryce is fine. We'll definitely wait and see. I know in terms of this week, in terms of the games with the Cincinnati Reds, the rain, it's supposed to be raining until Thursday, basically. It's going to start raining overnight tonight and then go into Thursday morning. So I don't know how many games, if they even get any of the games in this series played against this Cincinnati Reds team. I don't think they'll get tomorrow played. Do they try to squeeze one of these games in? I'm sure they're going to try their damnedest to squeeze one of these games in, and maybe 2 of them are postponed. So I don't know what's going to happen in that regard. We're just going to have to wait and see how it plays out. It's going to suck regardless if they don't play. It kind of does suck when you're in the beginning of the year and then games are getting postponed because you're in that transition from winter to spring, and that's, April brings a lot of rain and all that crap. So it just sucks to see that. But we'll wait and see in terms of, the forecast and the weather and what MLB and the Phillies decide to do for these 3 games. I'm sure they're not going to announce like, oh, all 3 games are postponed. They're probably going to wait till daily, a few hours before the game or something like that. So like I said, we'll just have to wait and see on that standpoint and see what happens from there. But yeah, you got the win today. You definitely did. Like I said, it's very ironic considering that none of us in Phillies country love the lineup decisions from Rob Thompson today. Seriously, you had a backstretch of your lineup 7-8-9 of Edmundo Sosa, Christian Pache, and Johan Rojas. That is, and especially those guys came up in, an important situation with 2 runners on, and none of those guys managed to bring a run home. Even though those guys were responsible for getting bases loaded for Kyle Schwarber, it's just the fact that you're not going to have that much success with those 3 guys in the back end of your lineup. It's just not going to happen like that. It's just stupid. It's just insanely stupid. It's bad lineup construction. You need Stott in there every day against lefties. He deserves to play every day against lefties. I understand, blah, blah, blah. If you want to say, small sample size, he doesn't have that many at-bats against left-handed pitching. His numbers are what his numbers are. According to his numbers, granted, yes, less plate appearances against left-handed pitching. His numbers against left-handed pitching are better. And yeah, maybe those come back down a little bit, but still, I trust Bryson Stott to go up there and have some professional at-bats like he really does basically every single game. Stott has to play. He's one of your best all-around hitters. Why aren't you giving him a chance to bat against Chris Sale? And this is not like this is 2018 Chris Sale with the Boston Red Sox or any of Chris Sale's time with the Chicago White Sox. He's just not that pitcher anymore. You saw it from today. He hit a wall. He was very hittable today, especially in the later stages. And go figure, Kyle Schwarber led off the bottom of the first inning with a home run. So, yeah, Rob, your theory that lefties can't hit Chris Sale came back to bite you in the ass, the very first fucking hitter in the game. So, yeah, that kind of annoyed me. I was pumped that Schwarber went deep, but still the matter of the fact that, 3 of your better hitters just not in the lineup. Just can't happen. But I do gotta appreciate what Turner was able to do, get an RBI home, what Bohm was able to do, especially there. JT almost missed a go-ahead 2-run shot, and of course it was one of those situations where Citizens Bank Park, when you go on those stat sheets and they'll say oh, this is the ballpark that this ball would have been a home run in and would not have been a home run in. Guess the 2 ballparks that ball that JT hit would not have been a home run. Oriole Park or Camden Yards, Oriole Park in Baltimore, and Citizens Bank Park. Literally the only 2 ballparks in the goddamn league that wouldn't have been a home run in. Dude hits it 107 off the bat. Somehow it dies right at the warning track. Are you fucking serious here? If that's June, August, July, those months where the weather's completely warmer, that ball is 10 rows back into the goddamn stands. Holy shit. Holy shit. Goddamn. Freaking spring weather, early spring weather. Jesus Christ. But like I said, Ranger Suarez, definitely, of the mix of him, Zack Wheeler, and Aaron Nola, he's definitely in the middle there. He definitely settled down more as the game went along. I would have loved to see Rob give him an extra inning. I'm not sure why he gave him only 5. And now this is not the debate where, oh, why didn't Zack Wheeler go his 7th inning? Why isn't I think 5 innings with 83 pitches is different than 6 innings with 89 pitches. I think that's a little bit different here. 6 innings, that's a quality start. Ranger Suarez is not in line for a quote-unquote quality start there. So you took him out of the inning before he would have been, in the quality start range. So that's why I don't like Rob taking out Ranger early there. I would have liked to see him get at least 1 more inning, especially when you're talking about not taxing the bullpen. That's just something that I want to see there. And then Hoffman, does Hoffman things. He's been really good in the first few games that he's been used in. Matt Strahm settled down from his first appearance, 1 hit and 2 strikeouts. Seranthony Dominguez was shaky, very shaky. He got 2 strikeouts, but then also allowed the Braves to get in within 1 run, especially with 2 outs. Ozzie Albies with an RBI there. But then Gregory Soto threw 1 pitch, and he got Matt Olson out, so we'll take that any day of the week. And then Jose Alvarado got himself a nice little 1-2-3 inning there in the 9th inning. A bit of a rocket there by Michael Harris for the final out, but we'll take it any day of the week getting that final out there. I'm not going to complain about that whatsoever. It's a final out. It means the final out, you get the win, and a win is I'll take that any day of the goddamn week. But overall, in terms of this weekend, it's just still bad vibes. Still very bad vibes. Just wasn't the biggest fan of everything. And if you're just going through this game in general as well, looking at the lineup, Kyle Schwarber, 2 for 4 with an RBI with the solo shot. Trey Turner, 1 for 4 with an RBI. Alec Boehm, 2 for 4 with 2 RBI. JT, 1 for 4. Castellanos, 1 for 3 with a walk. Whit Merrifield, 1 for 4. Edmundo Sosa, 1 for 2. Bryson Stott, 0 for 1 with a walk. Pache, 0 for 1 with a walk. Brandon Marsh went over 2 when he came into the ball game, and then Johan Rojas went over 2 with a strikeout. And yes, he was the one that technically did start the rally, even though it was a stroke of luck at the end of the day because he beat out a double play. And yes, the Phillies did make that situation pay. They got the review. It got overturned and became safe. But, the beginning of that inning, Stott walks, and then Rojas grounds into that fielder's choice. Schwarber gets the single. Turner gets the RBI single, so that was nice there. And then Turner eventually stole second base during the Boehm single. Scores 2 runs there after Duvall can't make the catch out there and left. JT didn't get another single, but the Phillies weren't able to tack on more runs there. But hey, you get a 5-3 lead, and you find a way to hold them off, even though they did make it a 1-run ball game. So I'll give credit where credit is due to the top guys. It's just still, I don't like the fact that neither Stott, Harper, Marsh, none of those guys are in the lineup. I don't like that. And now especially when the question about the games are basically going to be up in the air for this week, specifically just these first 3 days, because during the week, when the Phillies get to the weekend, they'll be on the road in Washington and St. Louis. So this is the last, home stretch here before you go on your first road trip of the season. But still, there's a lot of question marks regards to whether these games are going to get played. And it just sucks that, maybe it is a benefit that Bryce gets an extra couple of days of rest here now with the, him falling into the dugout. And maybe these, games possibly getting postponed could be a benefit. But I do expect Bryce Harper to be in the lineup if the game is played tomorrow or not. So that is the expectation right there. I just don't like it. I don't like it. Like, we need off days 2 games into the season. Like what is this? What is this? Like, can we stop with Bryson Stott, like sitting Bryson Stott against lefties? I just don't like it. And especially with Brandon Marsh. Like, how is this guy going to, eventually get better against left-handed pitching if you just don't give him the chance? If you just don't give him the chance, if you paid what you paid for to get Marsh, and right now, he's essentially a platoon player. Like, I think Marsh is better than a platoon player. I think Marsh can be an everyday player in this league. I think he's proven enough to be an everyday player in this league. And you're just, he gets rewarded after hitting a 2-run shot against Spencer Strider on Friday by not seeing the lineup 2 days in a row. Yeah, I understand he got eventually into the game with a pinch hit appearance, but still, the point stands that the dude didn't see the lineup for 2 straight days after he was responsible for mainly the lone runs in the opening day. Like, how's that for a fucking kick in the nuts? Like, seriously. It's gotta be better, man. It's just gotta be better. It just leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and it just does. It really does. I'm happy you got the win. Definitely, I'm not taking anything away from that. It's just that from the first 2 days, and especially the lineup decisions by Rob Thompson, it just leaves a very sour taste in my mouth. It just does. Now, maybe that sour taste in my mouth goes away, especially after you go into this stretch that you're going into, and you win some goddamn ball games, and you win a series or 2, or you win a series or 3. find ways to keep winning, because at the end of the day, winning is all that matters. And you got to win your games. And April games matter just as much, especially if you're trying to win the division. April games matter just as much as games in August. I know some fans, they okay, I don't care about losses until we get to the month of August, basically, at the end of the day there. And yeah, you're entitled to think like that. You're entitled to view your fandom like that. But when my expectations are, I want you to go out there and win a goddamn division, I'm going to get a little frustrated when you get your asses stomped, basically in the first 2 games of a series against your division rival that you're most likely going to be seeing in the playoffs again. So I just wanted to be better. I wanted to be better prepared. Now, like I said, maybe my mind will change a little bit depending on the outcome of the next few series. And we'll have to wait and see. We still don't know if they're even playing tomorrow, Tuesday, or Wednesday. So, like I said, we're going to have to wait and see on that. But, yeah, if we go fast forward to tomorrow, and for the rest of the week, you play these next 3 games, maybe, against the Reds. And if you do play these games, let's just say if you do play these games, it'll be Christopher Sanchez going up against Andrew Abbott. He is a left-handed pitcher. He was 8-6 last season with a 3.87 ERA. And then on Tuesday, it'll be Spencer Turnbull, his first appearance in a Phillies uniform, going up against Graham Ashcraft. He is a right-handed pitcher, 7-9 last year with a 4.76 ERA. And then the final game of that series will be Zack Wheeler going up against Frankie Montas. He is 1-0 so far in his first appearance in a Reds uniform. And in that appearance, he went 6 innings, allowed 4 hits, 4 strikeouts, and 0 earned runs. And the Reds won that game against the Washington Nationals. And then if you look at, the Washington Nationals series upcoming, that's your first part of the road trip until you go to St. Louis. And I won't go into anything about there. We'll just wait and see what happens this week with the Reds, if these games are even played or not. So, yeah, that's basically it there. And, before we end this off here, let's get to the Anytime Hotline and stuff like that. Basically just getting this out there for you guys. I know people are probably doing whatever they're doing for Easter, whether that's, dinner or anything like that. I just wanted to get this out there now because I'm eventually going to do some editing after this. So, yeah, I'll get this out there for you guys in a little bit here. Finish it off, I mean. But let's get to this Anytime Hotline, see what Sean has to say.
A much-needed win for the Phillies today. A frustrating series in a lot of ways today kind of encapsulated it. I mean, it just seemed like the Phillies couldn't catch a break. I mean, Realmuto's ball that looks like it's going out, dying on the warning track. They've been hitting line drives, getting caught. Every time the Braves hit a little bleeder, it finds a home. But finally, in the 8th inning or 7th inning, whatever it was, starting with Rojas beating out the inning-ending double play, the Phillies finally got some breaks. And the bone ball that fell in front of Duvall was finally the one that got him a win. Nice to see Matt Strom and Alvarado bounce back. Dominguez still shaky as hell. Suarez kept them in it, which you knew that they were going to have to do against Chris Sale. I didn't think Sale was that sharp. I thought the Phillies let him off the hook a few times. But at the end of the day, they got the win they needed. Hopefully that can carry over into tomorrow night.
We'll wait and see on tomorrow night, depending on if that game is played or not, Sean. But yeah, definitely letting Chris Sale off the hook. You had bases loaded. I believe it was in, like the 3rd, 4th, or 5th inning or something like that, when Sosa, Rojas, and Pache get on, surprisingly. And Kyle Schwarber, he did score a run that inning, but it was only because Kyle Schwarber grinded into a double play. So, yeah, that rally kind of died there, and that also coincides with letting Chris Sale off the hook a little bit there. And like I said, I don't believe Chris Sale is anywhere close to the form that he used to be. I think he'll be a serviceable, 3-4 starter for the Atlanta Braves, but that's nowhere close to what Chris Sale used to be, in my honest opinion. That just isn't. And I think that's no excuse for Rob Thompson to keep Bryson, Stott, and Brandon Marsh out of the lineup, and Bryce Harper too. Or if you wanted to keep Bryce Harper out of the lineup, fine, because you're being precautious, fine. But there's no excuse to have both Bryson Stott and Brandon Marsh out of the lineup, in my honest opinion, especially for Brandon Marsh 2 days in a fucking row. That's just inexcusable. That's sad. Because when you have a 7-8-9 in a lineup of Sosa, Rojas, and Pache, you're probably not going to score runs or get mostly production 95% of the time with those three as your 7-8-9. Just being honest. Just being honest. And like I said, I don't know what's going to happen these next few days in regards to the weather, because if I look at the weather right now, because I might as well do that because I am the weatherman. I am your trusty weatherman when it comes to Phillies games, and we'll see. And we'll see. So let me open up my weather app, and we'll see, as it takes forever to load. But we'll see in regards to the games being played this week. If the weather app would like to load. I don't know why it's not loading. But, why is it doing this now? Why is it not loading? God damn it. Just open. I want to see the goddamn weather. I want to see the goddamn weather. Here we go. Here we go. So if we look at, it's going to start raining tonight, overnight, into Monday, and it's going to get worse as the day goes along. Monday, 100% chance of rain, basically from the afternoon to the evening. 100% chance during the daytime, and then at nighttime it's 80% chance. Rain showers in the evening will evolve to more steady rain. And then Tuesday, 100% during the day, 90% during nighttime. And then Wednesday, 90% during the day, 70% during Wednesday night. So I have no idea what's going to happen on that point. No idea what's going to happen. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I'm not expecting. Maybe they try to squeak in one game. I don't think they're playing all 3 games in this series. I think 2 get postponed and maybe 1 gets played. They'll try to stretch 1 into getting played, and maybe it goes to the official, game length of like maybe 6 innings or something like that. Maybe the Phillies or the Reds are winning after 6 innings or something like that. And then if it starts to, get a little bit too crazy with the rain, they just call it, depending on the score. And especially since it's early in the season, no one's really going to care about that. So, yeah. We'll wait and see there. And, yeah. And if there's, nothing in regards to those Phillies games this week, we'll definitely have something, in tune for the videos here on the channel. I'm trying to think of, what else is upcoming this week. So, if the Phillies don't play tomorrow, it technically is Flyers, so we can talk Flyers if we want to, but the Flyers have been pissing me off a couple of times the past couple of games, and they basically have been unwatchable, so we'll wait and see what happens there. Tuesday, they might not play, so we'll just wait and see, and then Wednesday, we'll wait and see as well. So, yeah, just, wait and see. You'll see something pop up in your subscription feed, whether it's a stream, whether it's just a regular old video. Maybe we'll talk about the Eagles trading Hassan Reddick because we haven't been able to talk about that yet. So maybe that could be something this week if, the Phillies don't play any of these games. So, yeah. Just wait and see what happens. Pops up in your subscription feed. And, yeah. Oh, yeah, also, yeah, I just see that, yeah, Joel Embiid comes back this week possibly. If that happens, we could talk about, a Sixers game with Joel Embiid possibly returning. So we could definitely bring that up. Definitely, 100%. Thank you for bringing that up, Corey. And speaking of Corey, let me get to some of you guys here in the chat before we end this off, and y'all can enjoy the rest of your Easter night. Star Wars, yep, good win. Yeah, they do need to hit more consistently, though. Why can't Marsh play every day? He took Strider deep for Christ. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Corey. I don't know why they treat Marsh like this. Gets rewarded by hitting the home run by not seeing the lineup for 2 straight games. Don't understand that. It's clear that until we win the World Series with this core, Braves fans won't. Of course, Braves fans are not going to shut up about 2021. Of course, they're not. And credit to them, they do have that under their belt. Regardless of how many times we beat them in the playoffs, they're going to go back on and latch on to, oh, we have a ring. And yeah, they're entitled to that because, yes, they do have a ring. They do have a ring to boat there. At least we got a new. Oh, man. Sold my condo in Chicago, by the way, so I'll be moving to Philly in about a month. Oh, good for you, Corey. Good for you. Maybe we'll see you at a Phillies game at one point. Maybe this year. Maybe that could be the case. Citizens Bank Park for future replacement needs to be indoor. I kind of do agree with that. I do think I think most baseball stadiums today need like a retractable roof. That's just my opinion. A retractable roof so you prevent rain delays. It just prevents that. It takes that completely out of the picture. So you don't have to worry about that. But we'll see. I don't think that's ever going to happen now. Too bad the Phillies aren't coming to Wrigley for a while. I wanted to see them before I moved back. When do they play in Wrigley this year? Let me see that. Let me see that. Let me see that. When do they play in Chicago? They play in Chicago in July. So I'm assuming you're moving before July happens. So I guess that's the case. Did you get a chance to go to the Wings game? I did not, sadly. I did not, sadly. I think the Wings tickets that we did have was on opening day, if I'm not mistaken. It was either on opening day or so. I think it was. I think one of the, or what was it? What was it? I'm trying to think. It was on a day where it was either one of the Phillies games or it was one of the Flyers games. It could have been one of those, and I just wasn't able to go. And I wasn't, if I went to a Flyers game in the afternoon, I'm not going back to the Wells Fargo Center 2 hours from then. I'm just not doing that. Same thing if I were to go to a Phillies game, I'm not going to the. Jesus. Moving back from Wisconsin soon too. Oh, good for you, Patrice. Good for you, Patrice. Yeah, definitely. If Joel comes back, we could definitely talk about Sixers because we'll definitely talk about Sixers getting into the playoffs and stuff like that. We'll definitely do that. Even though the Sixers, just in my honest opinion, have been unwatchable. Just in my honest opinion, I just find no enjoyment watching them. Now, granted, that's probably the pessimist in me, but we'll see. The Band Wings or the Detroit Red Wings. Jesus. Yeah, the Detroit Red Wings definitely are something. They definitely are something. But yeah, let's just see if there's anything here on Twitter in regards to anything, and I don't think anything else is there. Juan Soto's definitely going off with the Yankees in this first series. He's currently batting .529 with I'm assuming that's a 600 on base percentage and a 765 slugging. Jesus Christ. Juan Soto is definitely going off for the Yankees right now, and I wouldn't be shocked if he's gonna hit free agency. The Scott Boras Klein. I wouldn't be shocked if that's the case. Bullpen needs to be better. Oh yeah, no doubt. But that's where I'm gonna call it today, guys. I gotta go edit, so that's gonna take me a little bit of my time here. So I do appreciate you guys being able to tune in here on this Easter night, and hopefully the Phillies do get one of these games in against the Reds this week. I'm pessimistic on that side just because Mother Nature is very unpredictable, and basically during game time it can pour, and either if it just rains a lot during the day, Citizens Bank Park is going to be a mess in terms of the field conditions and all that stuff. So I doubt they'll want to force the players to play in that, especially this early in the season. So we'll wait and see. But like I said, I don't expect them to play at least 2 games in this series. They'll be lucky to get one of these games in. So we'll wait and see. But for now, thanks, guys, for tuning into tonight. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. Also, use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Thanks, guys, once again for